evening, it is Niina. You're watching Fairy Chamber channel, continuing my series on Baltic mythology and Baltic folklore. So the Baltic countries are Latvia, Lithuania and Estonia. And today I'm going to talk to you about Dievas. That is the Lithuanian name of this particular god, and his Latvian name is Dievas. So all the Latvian and Lithuanian speakers who watch this, I apologize if I am pronouncing these names wrong. I am a native Finnish speaker myself. However, I think I will use the Dievas title in this video because it's easier for me to pronounce. So Dievas was the god of the skies in Baltic mythology, and he was seen as the ruler of the skies. However, Dievas was not a thunder god. For that, Baltic mythology has a different entity. But Dievas, he was the god of the skies. It is believed that the name Dievas and Dievs, they are derived from Proto-Indo-European word Div, which means a god or heaven. But in the Baltic sense, Dievas was foremost a pagan god. And later on, when Baltic countries, people were trying to convert them to Christianity, that is when they used the god Dievas as counterpart for them, a parallel god for the Christian god. That's what they tried to do. But however, Dievas, it's really a pagan god, and even older than the European gods. His worship goes back to archaic times of the Baltic lands. There isn't many description of how the Dievas looked like. Most of the time he is described to be a handsome man who dresses up in silver silks, and he has a shiny sword. Sometimes this sword is described to be green, but most of the time it's just a shiny sword. And he's described to dress up as a Baltic duke of the pagan times. So just described as a wealthy Baltic man and how they used to dress up in the past. And he is sometimes also seen as an old man, or he can transform himself into an old man, and this is something very common within many mythologies, at least in Northern Europe. Like Ukko in Finnish mythology, he could also shapeshift, and Tapio in Finnish mythology, and many of the gods in Baltic mythology, they are also shapeshifters. Loki in Nordic mythology, and so on. So it's very common. So Dievas, he could change himself into shape of an old man, and he could visit from town to town, village to village, and meet people and give gifts for those people who think they deserved gifts from him. Dievas, he is not only a god of the skies and god of heaven, he was also seen as someone who controlled the fate, and he has parallel levels to the Baltic goddess Laima, who is the goddess of destiny, and she has like 3 counterparts of herself. Laima, that's very common with the 3 Norse and 3 weavers throughout Europe, this idea of 3 ladies who are in charge of destiny. But in many occasions, Dievas is also connected to destiny and fate of the people, and some stories even tell that Laima, the goddess of fate, she is the daughter of Dievas, but this is something that we don't know much about. This is one part where mythology overlaps with everything. And of course, if you think about different countries in different parts of the different lands, they've been telling different versions of basically the same story. And this is how we get so many variations of every single tale in every single mythology. And Dievas, he was also seen as a god who in cosmological order is a creator god, but he's not really that kind of beginner god alone. There were several different beginner gods in Baltic mythology, but when it comes to humans, that is where Dievas is seen as beginner god. He gave humans their cultural gifts, our cultural gifts. So Dievas as a god is related to culture, human culture and human relationships and protecting humans in this sense. He is also the god of law, god of order and stability, and he is the one that people asked advice when it came to legal matters and such things. And it is believed that Dievas, because, well, he was depicted to be like Baltic Duke, basically in a spiritual form. People believed that within heavens he had a farmstead where he lived under a mountain, or in the top of a mountain, a silver mountain, and he had a house there with different gardens and pirtis, which is like a Baltic name for a sauna, and servants and all kinds of things like that. So he was really a duke who lived in the skies. And Dievas, his farm was very rich and earthy farm, same way as Baltic countries, their land is quite rich and earthy, so I think that is reflection from that. And also Dievas, as the god of the heavens, he is also connected to the sun and the Sole, the sun goddess. And some stories tell that Sole and Dievas were a couple, but this is where the mythology overlaps, because Sole, she is the matriarchal goddess of the whole Baltic pantheon. She is connected to Perkunas, the god of thunder, Dievas, and also Menulis, the god of moon, so you don't really know what's going on there. But Dievas mythology, it is also connected to the sun and bringing the sun to the earth. He has also a wagon, or sometimes a slike, especially around winter time he arrives with a slike, and this wagon is put by two magnificent dappled steeds, and they are called Dievo Cirkai. I hope I pronounced it right. And sometimes he's also pulled by two black dogs or black ravens, and the whole idea of wagon, you can find that from several different mythologies, from Finnish, Nordic, Germanic, Gaelic, pretty much all over, so that is very common. Dievas is very much connected to solar circle and the sun and different solstices, and especially Dievas, he was called during pretty much every pagan Baltic festival, but especially around summer, the festivals that were related to summer, that is when people did special rites for Dievas, and these rituals emphasize human sexuality, animal insemination and beekeeping. So bees are holy animals connected to Dievas, as well with horses. Horse was really the main animal of Dievas, the holy animal sacred to Dievas, and people saw horses as gifts straight from Dievas. They were gifts from the god of heaven. So when you hear these myths about Dievas, you can hear that there is many similarities to Christianity. There's the shape-shifting from young man to an old man, and the fact that people really were very devoted to Dievas, and that he was very loved god by Baltic people, and well, he was the god of the skies and very important to humans. That is when Baltic countries, when the invaders wanted to Christianize them, Dievas became the god that was a representation of the Christian god. And in Prussian, the Dievas is called Okopirmas, which means the god who came first. And well, within Finnish mythology, I think parallel god for Dievas would be Ukko, and then Tiernes in Teutonic mythology, and Thor, but those are really more close to Perkunos, but then I think Ukko within Finnish mythology, he is like a mixture of Dievas and Perkunos. He has elements of both of them, but this is the way mythology overlaps throughout the world. But anyway, because Dievas was such beloved god by the Baltic people of the pagan times, that is why the Dievas, he became the Christian god when the Christian invaders came. Still today, Latvia, Lithuania and Estonia, they are probably the most atheistic countries in the world, and there's lots of pagan activity, so apparently the Christianization didn't work out that well in those countries. So this was the story of Dievas. Thank you for watching, guys. If you are just as much passionate about mythologies as I am, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving big thumbs up for the god of the heavens within Baltic mythology. So thank you for watching, guys. I will see you on my next videos. Take care. Bye.